For today's video, I do want to speak about Superman Legacy and talk about everything that we know about this movie so far. We're also going to be speaking about the approach that James Gunn is going to be taking. So we are going to be discussing the cast. We're going to be talking about Lex Luthor himself, because there has been some great news regarding Lex Luthor and its casting and just the whole direction on this film. So it's going to be a very interesting one. And yes, you guys heard that right, that we are going to be very Lex Luthor focused, because according to Deadline, Nicholas Hault has been casted as the Lex Luthor for Superman Legacy. And this is some very surprising news, because if you guys don't know the whole backstory on Nicholas Hault, this actor here, he did try to play Superman under James Gunn. He was trying to audition for that role, but he got denied. He also tried to play the character of the Batman, but he also got denied, and Robert Pattinson got the role to play Batman under Matt Reeves. So he got denied twice to play either Superman or Batman. And you can just really tell that Nicholas is trying to take his next step in his career, and he definitely does not want to go back to the MCU or anything regarding Marvel. He clearly wants to be in the DC universe. And looking at the way Beast was handled during those X-Men films, I'm pretty sure that Nicholas is looking for a good project that is being held by great hands. And to him, it seems like he does trust James Gunn, and he does want to be, again, in the DCU. And so for him to not get the role of Superman, and for him to also not get the role of the Batman, and to become Lex Luthor, that is just amazing. And I'm pretty sure that he's gonna do very well playing Lex Luthor. If you guys are not familiar with his work, you guys can see him in The Menu, a movie that did come out last year in 2022. He was also in Renfield. I honestly did not see Renfield at all. I just heard that Renfield was a really bad movie, but you can go see how he acted in that movie. You can see his work as the Beast during the X-Men films. He has always been one of the bright lights in each of those projects. He has just been in very poor management because of the way that the movies were being filmed, except for The Menu. And so look, he has been denied twice for big roles. And for him to get the role of Lex Luthor, I know that he's gonna give it his all. And he got what he wanted, which is to go into the DC universe. Like, this whole story about Nicholas Hault is really reminding me of Tom Hiddleston and how he tried to go for the role of Thor, but he lost it to Chris Hemsworth, and he got the role to play Thor. But then Marvel decided that, Tom Hiddleston was so good as an actor that they wanted to give him a different character. And so they leaned towards Loki. They're like, okay, yes, you have lost the role to play Thor, but you can also play Loki, which is going to be his brother. And he took that choice and he said, okay, I'll do that. Even though this is not the role that I want, I'll take the Loki role. And then 12 years later or 13 years later, I think that it is safe to say that he is one of the most popular characters in the MCU today, and probably has the best character arc. So it's crazy how Tom Hiddleston's story has unfolded, and I feel like the same thing could go on with Nicholas Hault. To be denied to play Superman, to be denied to play Batman, I feel like he can own this role to play Lex Luthor. And seeing who Lex Luthor is, by the way, in the comics, like, he is someone who is very well built physically. He's very successful. He's rich. He's all about elegancy. And so, like, bro, like, if Lex Luthor is built in the comics, I want to see Nicholas Hault in at the gym like tomorrow. I want him to be built. I want him to look good when he makes that appearance in Superman Legacy. He needs to be looking amazing. So I'm very happy for him at the end of the day. And if you guys also do not know, he is not going to be having a huge role in Superman Legacy for the upcoming film. He is going to be making an appearance, but I don't think that it's going to be like a huge appearance. Like, he's not going to be there 45-50% of the time, because he's not even considered as the main villain for the movie. The main villain is going to be Brainiac. So yes, we do want him to own this role. We want him to do well in this movie, but we especially want him to own this role for the next 6 years. Like, us as an audience, we want to be able to say, when are we going to be seeing Lex Luthor again? Which film is he going to be on next? And I want him to be a character that the people resonate to, because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the way that Lex Luthor portrays himself throughout all of his stories is that he's considered as a high value man, right? Because he really worked to get to the position that he was in, right? He's rich, he's powerful, he has a lot of wealth, he has a lot of influence, he's well built, he's smart. Most importantly, right, he's probably the smartest man on the planet. He has everything. He is everything a man would want to be. And that is also something that many of the men today in today's world would also like to be. So hopefully he can be a very compelling character, and hopefully James Gunn really makes him into a villain that people inspire to. I know that sounds kind of wrong for me to say, but I want him to be a very resonating character. That's the most important thing, because a lot of us understood Loki, for example. We understood also Thanos. We want to be able to understand Lex Luthor and why he envied envies Superman so much. And if you guys are not familiar with like this whole relationship between Lex Luthor and Superman, let me make it very simple for everybody here. And I'm gonna make this very quick. Can you imagine, right, yourself working so hard to get into a very high level position, right? And you work out every day, you bench press, you deadlift, you look good, you feel good, you also accumulate so much wealth, you're smart, everybody knows that you're the smartest man on earth, people really inspire to be just like you, and you just work really hard for the next 20 years to be the man that you wanted to be. Right? You become just top tier, high elegancy, high valued, basically everything. You're bald or whatever. That is who Lex Luthor is. And then just imagine, right? Becoming all of that, working for all of those things, being greatly admired by the world, but only for Superman to come in just randomly one day and show the world who he is and how powerful he actually is. Being able to lift a whole building, being able to showcase all of these superpowers. When there's a natural disaster, Superman is always going to be there to help. Seeing him fly 1,000 miles per hour in the air, people are going to be praising that type of figure because he's a god, right? Superman is a god. And so can you imagine you yourself being so envious of that, right? You worked so hard to get to that level. You had the world admire you, and then only for the world to ignore you now because they saw the ultimate figure, which is a godlike figure, and that is Superman. And so that is why Lex Luthor envies Superman so much, is because he took everything that he has worked for and he felt inferior, and he does not like that feeling. And I do think that many people do struggle with that, right? The envious, right? To see somebody be better than you. And I also hope that James Gunn throughout the film shows just how destructive the nature of envy could actually be, and how it also does consume Lex Luthor. Now I know that again, he's not going to be the big bad and the big villain for Superman Legacy, but we want to see hints of that throughout the next 6 years and whatever project he is going to be appearing on. So at the end of the day, I'm really loving this universe that James Gunn is building. I like every cast member. So just to get up to date on who is being casted and what character they are going to be playing, we have David Cornsweet as Superman, Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, Nicholas Hault as Lex Luthor. We don't know who's going to be playing Brainiac yet because he is the main villain for James Gunn's Superman Legacy, according to Can We Get Some Toast on Twitter. We'll see in the future. So we also do have the Engineer appearing in Superman Legacy. That is one of the members of the Authority. Maria Gabriela De Faria is going to be playing the Engineer. Then we have Isabella Merced, who is going to be playing Hawkgirl. We have Eddie Gathegi, who will be playing Mr. Terrific. And then we have Nathan Fillion, who will be portraying a Green Lantern. Now I know that it does seem very inflated, like there's just so many cast members, like how is James Gunn going to include all of these characters in one movie? I think that most of these characters are going to be having small cameos. I don't necessarily think that most of these characters are going to be appearing a lot, just small cameos. We'll for sure see a lot of Superman, a lot of Lois Lane, a little bit of Lex Luthor. We're definitely also going to be seeing a lot of Brainiac, but for the rest, it's probably going to be small cameos. And I know that James Gunn knows what he's doing, right? Because whatever cameos he is going to be having, they're going to be greatly effective, very effective. Now you may say, but don't you think that it would be smarter to just like not include all of these other side characters and just wait it out and put it on a different project? Yes, that does make sense, but I think that one of the reasons why he's including so many characters is because of this. James Gunn is restarting the DC universe, right? He has even changed the name from DCEU to DCU. And we also see him hiring great actors, world-class actors. And we also know that James Gunn is aware that he needs to make this movie a top blockbuster film. And the story must be compelling and at the same time make this a Superman movie, a true Superman movie. And so when you combine all of these elements, you do get a successful film, a film that the world is going to be talking about, right? You get world recognition. And I think that because James Gunn knows that he is aiming for a movie that will be recognized by the whole world, this is also the reason why I assume that he wants to add in cameos, because he wants to introduce us to the brand new characters and showcase the world that he is building off of this movie that will be seen by multiple people. So like the hardcore DC fans and also the general audience. And so there is a lot to look forward to regarding this film. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. I hope you guys do enjoy this one, and I will see you guys in the next one.